Let me explain how this is supposed to work. I send an email asking for a repeat prescription. 2 or 3 days later, that email is supposed to be forwarded to my pharmacist for that prescription to be dispensed. 1 or 2 days after that, it should be ready for collection. That is how it is supposed to work. In reality, I send an email and never get a response. I have to send another email last minute because I realise they haven't responded, and then I just have to beg the pharmacist to do my prescription then and there because I have no last choice, or I'm on my last option, I have no other choice. So that happens. What also happens is I send a prescription through, and then they refuse that I even need a prescription, despite the fact that I've been on this medication since I was 19, so I wouldn't stop. And I can't, actually. One of them has terrible side effects withdrawal symptoms. But what also happens is I'll send for a prescription, they'll issue it, I'll collect it, and then a week later they've issued it twice. Okay, fine, I'll just have extra meds this month. You know that makes me very close to the overdose limit, right? One of my medications, all I need is 3 months worth to overdose. I wouldn't, but, considering that one of them's for depression, that should red flag. Anyway, there's also the fact that I'm also on a yearly repeat prescription for EpiPens because they have a year life, they expire. Now, EpiPens are a thing that if I don't ask for more of, I don't need more of. And I just collect them every time that my existing pair, because they give you them in sets of 2, have expired. So I currently have 2. A few months ago I go to pick up my prescription for anxiety meds and antidepressants, and there's 2 more EpiPens waiting for me, out of the blue. And then I discover that once they have been put in their little baggie and officially marked as dispensed, they can't be reintroduced as stock. My pharmacist, once it has been dispensed to me, cannot take it out of the bag and put it back on the shelf for somebody else. It has to go in the bin. That is the case for all medications. Now, I can't just take the medication and then hand it to them to be disposed, because it's a needle medication, because it's an EpiPen. Needles have to be disposed in a sharps box, which my local pharmacy doesn't have. I'd have to go up to my local hospital. That's not happening, because that's a 3-mile walk and 3 separate buses, so no. Now, that's fine. I'll just have 2 extra EpiPens. That means I don't need to worry about having spares anytime soon, in case I do have an attack. And this hopefully won't happen again, because it's a waste of medication. Lo and behold, today I get an email saying there's 2 more EpiPens ready. I hadn't asked for any. There's nothing to say that I would need more, but they're there. And they're just going to go in the bin, because I don't need 6 EpiPens at one time. That's wow.